Hey there, thanks for coming. What does it take to be number one? Well, it depends on who you ask. To All Might, the embodiment of invincibility, it means to unfailingly save the day from evil, often effortlessly, always with a smile. To Endeavor, it means the exact opposite. Here's what you need to know. Endeavor is a big man of little words. From the start of the series, it was clear what the character was all about. The name Endeavor literally means to try hard to achieve a goal. That goal being becoming the number one hero, at least for the first 4 seasons of the series. A foolish goal, just ask anyone, because the number one hero at that time was All Might. The almighty, the omnipotent, the undisputed most powerful hero of all time. What chance did anyone have of catching up to him? A god among men. All Might is Endeavor's hero foil, the man locked in battle with the darkness inside him versus the uncorrupted symbol of justice. The flawed human with an abusive past versus the perfect paragon of purity. God's gift to humanity versus the consolation prize. The odds were stacked against him from the beginning, but that didn't stop Endeavor. No, not in the slightest. He focused and worked his ass off, desperately trying to catch up to All Might, believing that one day his hard work would trump his rival's talent. This was his life's purpose, the journey that he lost himself in, striving, struggling, endeavoring in hopes of one day dethroning the GOAT. And one day, the number one hero just quits. Everything around Endeavor crumbles as his story as number one begins. In a sense, what it took for Endeavor to become number one wasn't his effort or his dedication. He just got lucky, and this breaks him. Why? Endeavor didn't want to win the title by default. He wanted to best his opponent in an honest fight. And with All Might's retirement, it's something he'll never get. The rest of Season 4 showcases Endeavor's struggle with this realization in ways that the big red brute hasn't struggled before. And it wasn't until his climactic fight with Nomu that he found meaning again. You see, before the fight, Endeavor was number one only in name. The people didn't trust him. They didn't believe in his strength. How could they, when All Might left behind such massive shoes to fill? But the way he fought, the way he struggled, the way he kept getting up after being knocked down, coupled with his eventual triumph at the end, was what really earned him the title of number one in the eyes of the people and in his own. True to his name, Endeavor is the self-made hero of hard work. He saves the day not by smiling pretty like his predecessor, but by gritting his teeth and pushing forward relentlessly. This message is further hammered home when you compare the victory stances of the two heroes. All Might is standing happy with his left fist raised, symbolizing effortlessness, while Endeavor is happy to be standing with his right fist raised, symbolizing hard work. Endeavor is a source of inspiration for the aspiring heroes of My Hero Academia and for young men of the real world. Not because he's an unrealistic representation of the invincible Superman, but because he's the embodiment of a message that our generation desperately needs to hear. That anyone can achieve greatness if they truly strived for it. We're living in a time of unrivaled peace and prosperity, even including the wars going on at the moment. It's arguably the best time to be alive. Our generation boasts the lowest famine rates, crime rates, infant mortality rates, you name it. And because of this, we've kind of taken all of this comfort for granted. And you know, I quite like comfort. Who doesn't? I like my hot showers. I like my cushy bed. I like being able to order food to my door with a few swipes of my finger. But watching Endeavor put himself through such hardship, such struggle, only to emerge victorious and, more importantly, fulfilled at the end, it makes me think, I kind of want to be like that. Maybe watching this video you think I'm nuts, or maybe you're one of the few that feel it too. That maybe the meaning of our lives isn't packaged in cheap, brightly colored plastic wrappers and sold on the shelves of supermarkets. Maybe the meaning of our lives is in striving, pushing, struggling like Endeavor towards our goals and achieving them. Let's be real for a second. Ask yourself this, and I mean really ask yourself, and be brutally honest. If you were isekai'd into My Hero Academia right now, who would you be? I'll go first, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I'd probably be that guy, doing nothing in the crowd and waiting for a hero to show up and save the day. And I think that's my own fault for sure. I was lazy, unmotivated, and directionless for a long time in the past. But I think it's also partly because of the unprecedentedly sky-high standards of living we have these days. No one is talking about it, but maybe you've noticed it too. Everyone gets a participation trophy at school. Everyone's got their own safe space. You can't even call your friends the R word anymore without getting funny looks from strangers. Everything's just so comfortable. And I think this comfort, I'm doing air quotes, this comfort was what dulled the fire within me that Endeavor's story reignited. It's like an overdue wake-up call to start taking things seriously, to try hard in life without fear of looking cringe, to admit to yourself that you're not a perfect being and that there are things you wish you could improve. And it takes so much humility to admit that, but once you do, then what's stopping you? Like, what's really stopping you? Once you've gotten out of your own way, you start to notice the upside of living in this comfortable society. You can pretty much do anything you want. If your dream was to start a business, go start a business. All the information you need is online for free. If your goal is to get jacked and become strong enough to challenge the Hulk himself, it doesn't matter if you're a walking stick figure right now. A gym membership and a few YouTube videos are realistically all you need to get started. There's so much opportunity out there in this day and age as a result of the comforts that we love and hate at the same time. But the real tragedy is that most of us, my past self included, are content to just sit around in our chairs and watch. Watch people like Elon Musk, people like Andrew Tate, the real-life embodiments of Endeavor, take over the world, while we ourselves won't even extend an arm out to grab opportunities, to work towards goals that might very well have literal life-changing effects in a few years. I don't know about you, but I want to start trying. And if you're still watching by this point, then maybe you feel that way too. So if you're still here, hit that subscribe button and join the gang. I'm Sorex, and this channel is all about helping misdirected young men improve themselves through the power of story. Sometimes anime stories, sometimes my own personal stories. On that note, there was one major obstacle in my life that always stopped me cold whenever I thought of starting my journey. And I didn't even know it existed. Watch this next video to make sure it isn't holding you back either. Also, if you like Chainsaw Man.